Hey everybody, it's Brock and we got a brand new episode of All About. Today we're going to be hitting on a fish that some consider the holy grail of tangs. Absolutely gorgeous koi tang. These tangs are natural hybrids, very rare and very beautiful. Some have even sold for thousands of dollars. Let's dive into today's episode of the koi tang. The price is all based on the coloration that you see. If you see one that has a mixture of yellow, white, and black, you can bet you'll be paying a pretty penny for them. For others that are still multicolored, but more along the lines of a Scopus tang, they will be cheaper. This one at my LFS was $400 and definitely camera shy. Online, I saw white and yellow being sold for $3,000, and supposedly some reports going around of people trying to sell them for upwards of $30,000. Couldn't be me, but maybe somebody out there would want to spend that much on a coloration they were really looking for. I'd tell you to Google the Calico Koi Tang, by far the prettiest coloration I've seen on one. For these koi tangs, I'd recommend a 120 gallon or more. That usually is a 6 feet in length tank, which gives them plenty of room to grow and roam. That tank should feature an open live rock structure that has some really cool caves, arches, and overhangs for them to hide in, graze on, and dart in and out. They're a very active tang. You'll see them all throughout the day, speeding through the currents, so give them plenty with the power heads that are in there, and you shouldn't have to worry about a glass lid. I usually like to give my fish a sandy bottom. Some algae will also grow on that, so it gives them another source of food to go after. For tangs, I usually like to put them at a moderate care level. Treat this like any other zebra solma tang. They're usually hardy. Avoid those spikes in your aquarium. Keep in mind that they need algae in their diet to stay healthy, and keep some sort of vitamins, medicine, or a quarantine tank on hand in case they do catch something like ick and flukes that you need to treat. Tangs have a thin slime coat, which can in turn lead them to being more susceptible for those certain diseases and infections. Temper is semi-aggressive. They're a tang, so they will claim a lot of territory in the tank. You can see them darting at fish or swatting their tail at them in order to scare them away from a certain area. Tangs are the kings and queens in the aquarium. They own it. With most fish, they are peaceful to be around. It's usually when you try to mix in other tangs into the tank. Similar body shapes can increase the chances of aggression between the tangs. What we usually like to recommend is if you can, add all your tangs in the tank at the same time, and you'll have the best luck at deterring some of that aggression. Now, Scopus tangs can school together, so if you wanted to put one of these with 2 yellow tangs in the tank, you could. Again, I would still try to do it at the same time if possible. Keep in mind, on their back tail, they do have those 2 spines that they can flare out if they're being aggressive towards another fish, but also if they're feeling stressed, they'll use them. So be careful when handling them. You do not want to get hit by one of those barbs. They are 100% reef safe. I'd actually recommend you put them in a seasoned reef, especially after spending this much money on a fish. They will not bother any of your corals, not your mushrooms, SPS, leathers, inverts, even clams and anemones. They are hunters for that algae that grow on the rocks. So be aware there are cases where coral might have gotten injured and some algae grows on that injury. The tang will try to clean it off, sometimes leading people to believe their tang is eating their coral. For your water parameters, you want the temperature to be at 72 to 78 degrees. These tangs are found in warm tropical waters, so you want to try to mimic that. DKH 8 to 12, pH 8.1 to 8.4, and your salinity 1.020 to 1.025. Parameters are important, especially with tangs. Having spikes in ammonia or nitrates can cause them to stress, eventually leading them to get something like ick or velvet. Do your water changes, test your water, keep it clean for this beauty of a tang. Colors are obviously what's going to catch your eye. They are natural hybrids and most likely a cross between a yellow tang and a Scopus tang. And what really drives the price is the fact that no two are going to be exactly alike. Similar to koi pond fish, the ones that are a ton of different colors, the ones that are more rare, they're going to cost more. Where they get their name from. Most variations I see are browns and blacks. The more rare tend to be the ones that are yellow with white and black splotches on them. Diet is an omnivore. They'll eat algae, and they're also going to take after your other fish eating meaty foods too. Pellets, flakes, mysis, and brine shrimp, all good choices. Most important thing is making sure they are getting algae in their diet every day. This is going to keep their colors looking great and their health in tip-top shape. Having some natural algae growing in the tank, especially when first introducing them, is great. You have hair algae or some macroalgae growing, It's great for the tang to eat on while they get used to you feeding the tank. And if you run out of algae, grab some dry seaweed and start putting it on a clip in the tank daily. These tangs come from the Indo-Pacific region, off the coast of Africa, to Australia and the Philippines. Different tang species will cross paths during spawning season, and on rare occasions these hybrids occur. They are not captive bred. Any that you see are going to be caught in the wild. While some tangs, like the yellow tangs, the regals, have been successfully captive bred, there are no studies that I could find that have been successful in breeding koi tangs. Compatibility, just ask down in the comments if you're unsure with your current fish list and what would be compatible with this koi tang. These fish are on the reef, so they do good with clownfish, angels, tangs, wrasse, gobies, damsels, and much more reef fish. Even larger size tangs do well in fowler tanks with eels, puffers, and groupers. They're going to stand their ground. Just remember, if you're wanting multiple tangs, try and add them at the same time. Thank y'all for tuning into this video of the koi tang. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Turn that notification bell on so you know when we release a new episode. Whether you're dreaming of owning one or just admiring them from afar, these incredible hybrid tangs prove that sometimes the most amazing things in the hobby happen when Mother Nature decides to show off. If you're lucky enough to see one in person, make sure to take a picture because it might be a while before you see one again. Stay safe, be kind, and I'll see y'all later.